Good evening, everybody. My name is 12 Gauge. Welcome to my channel, 12 Gauge Investigative. I hope you guys are having a wonderful week. As you all know, I've been battling with some things health-wise, but my voice seems to be coming back and everything is moving right along. Been sleeping a lot, so you can only sleep so much. Um, yeah, today is your day. Today is your day. Your first both times. That is awesome. I have done this case already in my library. So if you don't know anything about the Suzanne Simpson case, there is a couple videos in my library that specify exactly what has gone on. I would like to update you guys with some more stuff that I've found out since the last update that I did. I'm going to read over the affidavit of what actually happened on the night that she went missing. She's from Los Alamos, Texas, right outside of San Antonio. She is a mother of four, um, but she only had two children living at the house at the time. She attended a party with her husband, Brad Simpson, and they had a physical altercation upon returning from the party. Then a neighbor specified that the fighting was quite close to his window and that it kept getting louder and louder, and they got into the vehicle and they rode away, and he heard screams coming from a wooded area down the street, which if you look at the other video, you'll see the map and everything that I took the viewer on, and you'll be able to see how close that wooded area really is. So tonight I'd like to go over this affidavit with you because it's always nice to see an affidavit and exactly how it relates to cases, you know what I mean? And I'm going to read this to you. This was filed on, let's see, what day did it file on? It doesn't matter what day. But anyway, this says affidavit for arrest warrant. The undersigned affiant, Detective Hector Rios, 323, being a peace officer under the law of the state of Texas and being duly sworn on oath, makes the following statements and accusations. A victim in this case has been identified as Suzanne Clark Simpson, date of birth June 16, 1973, hereinafter referred to as the victim. An actor in the case had been identified as Brad Chandler Simpson, date of birth December 30th, 1970, hereinafter referred to as the defendant. Said defendant is further identified in SAPD computer files under SID 1203162. It is the belief of your affiant that the offense of Section 19.02 of murder was committed on or about the 6th day of October 2024 in Bexar County, Texas. Your affiant has probable cause for said belief by reason of the following facts. Being duly sworn in the oath, make the following statements and accusations. The undersigned affiant, Hector Reese, badge number 323, being a peace officer under the laws of the state of Texas, affiant has been a certified peace officer since 1987. Affiant is currently assigned as a lieutenant of the Alamos Park Police Department. And then it goes on to tell you exactly what his credentials are. So we'll go ahead and skip all that. The affiant has been assisted during this investigation by the Texas Department of Public Safety. The Texas Rangers Division of Texas Rangers routinely assists local, state, and federal agencies with major and special investigations. On 10/7/2024, the Almost Park Police Department was dispatched to Almost Park, Bexar County, Texas 78212 for a report of a missing person. This investigation was documented under case number 2403280. Your affiant was assigned to this investigation on 10/8/2024 as the lead criminal investigator. A victim in this case has been identified as Suzanne Clark Simpson, date of birth June 16, 1973, a white female, 51 years old. So, if you remember correctly, they arrested him. Um, they arrested him based on the fact that he was assaulting his wife, and he would not talk. So they kept talking to him, and he lawyered up, and they finally, I guess, got enough probable cause to file this warrant. Okay, let me continue going. Can y'all see that all right? It said an actor in this case had been identified as Brad Chandler Simpson, December 30th, 1970. It is the belief of your affiant that the offense of murder was committed on or about the 6th day of October 2024 in Bexar County, Texas. Your affiant has probable cause for said belief by reason of the following facts. Being duly sworn in oath makes the following statements and accusations. Okay, let's keep going because it just repeats itself right there, and I guess I went too far up. Okay, here we go. Brad Chandler Simpson, date of birth December 30th, 1970, a white male, 53 years old, henceforth called defendant, said defendant is further identified in Bexar County jail records as SO 1203162. It is the belief of your affiant that the offense of murder under Texas Penal Code Section 19.02 was committed on or about October 6, 2024 in Almost Park, Bexar County, Texas. Your affiant has probable cause for said belief by reason of the following facts. So this is basically saying that it was believed that he committed murder on that date, and here are the following facts to support that. On 10/7/2024, while off duty, your affiant received a call from Sergeant Melissa Campbell, badge number 363, a Texas certified police officer, stating patrol officers were actively working on a missing person case in Almost Park, Bexar County, Texas. Your affiant was given a brief synopsis of the case. Your affiant note, defendant lives with his wife, Suzanne Simpson, and two of their minor children, ages 5 years old and 15 years old, at their residence located at 520 East Almost Drive, Almost Park, Bexar County, Texas. Your affiant received information from Officer Tubbs at 226, a Texas certified police officer, who told me that he learned from marked out a credible and reliable person that friends of Suzanne Simpson met to discuss her disappearance on the evening of 10/7/2024. Called the defendant on 10/7/2024 with her concerns about Suzanne Simpson's disappearance. Defendant had not called the police nor 911. Blank informed the defendant that she was going to call the police. Your affiant learned from Alamo Heights Dispatch that Sunny Woods, initially contacted police on 10/7/2024 at 9:57 p.m. to report Suzanne Simpson missing. Your affiant later learned from Almost Park Police Chief Fidel Villegas that defendant called at 10:11 p.m. and left a voicemail for Chief Villegas. After I guess Sunny Woods, reported Suzanne missing. Sergeant Campbell told your client that initial reporting officers stated that upon contacting the defendant at his residence, the defendant reported he had not heard from his wife, Suzanne Clark Simpson, since Sunday, 10/6/2024 at 11 p.m. On 10/8/2024, your client spoke to Officer Christopher Maldonado, badge number 342, and Officer Antonio Davila, badge number 341, both Texas certified peace officers. Both officers provided information regarding the missing female identified as Suzanne Clark Simpson. Officer Maldonado stated that he had been in contact with a friend of Suzanne Simpson throughout the night and gathered information for his report. During this investigation, your client received information from Officer Jared Tubbs, badge number 326, that he obtained information from Howard Early Childhood Center located at 7000 Broadway, San Antonio, Bexar County, Texas. The information is as follows. The school counselor spoke to Officer Tubbs and relayed that the 5-year-old child of the missing person, Suzanne Simpson, stated that on Sunday evening, 10/6/2024, her dad, the defendant, had pushed her mother against the wall, hit physically her mother in the face, and hurt her mother's elbow inside their residence. According to the child, the defendant also turned off her mother's phone because they were fighting. Your client later reviewed body camera footage from the initial report at the Simpson residence. Your client observed the defendant claimed that Suzanne Simpson lost her cell phone at a local HEB prior to coming home on the evening of 10/6/2024. On 10/8/2024, at approximately 9 p.m., your client listened to a phone conversation that occurred between Almost Park Police Chief Fidel Villegas and the defendant. Your client note, defendant said he had seen his wife the morning of Monday, 10/7/2024 at approximately 6:30, and he was leaving to drop off his child at school. Defendant stated he peeked into a separate room and observed his wife asleep. This contradicts his statement about not seeing his wife when he initially spoke to patrol officers C. Maldonado and A. Davila on the night of 10/7/2024. On 10/8/2024, your client spoke with Company F Texas Ranger Jesse Perez, who is a Texas certified peace officer. Texas Ranger Perez is assisting in the investigation. Texas Ranger Perez told me that he spoke with a credible and reliable person, stated that she witnessed defendant and Suzanne Simpson engaged in a verbal altercation while at a party at the Argyle located at 934 Patterson Avenue, Alamo Heights, Bexar County, on the evening of 10/6/2024. Your client also learned from Officer Tubbs that the Simpsons attended a party at the Argyle Club. This is pretty wild, isn't it, Paula? Through interviews and information obtained from other officers, your client determined that on the evening of 10/6/2024, Suzanne Simpson and her 5-year-old daughter left the party at approximately 8:30 p.m. at the Argyle and went to HEB at 300 West Almost Drive, San Antonio, Texas. They were there from 8:40 p.m. to 8:51 p.m. according to the video surveillance footage from the HEB. Your client believes that Suzanne Simpson and her daughter had arrived at her residence shortly after. What I heard on another podcast a while ago is the individual was stating that Suzanne had contacted her mother during this time to see if she could watch the small child because she was wanting to go to the party with her husband. And she changed her mind and said, "No, Brad can go, and then I'll go with the child after he gets back." So during this time, that's when the altercation started. Your client learned from the Texas Department of Public Safety criminal analyst that upon reviewing the call detail records for Suzanne Simpson's cell service, they observed the following on 10/6/2024. At 9:15, Suzanne Simpson called family friend to say that she was coming over. Your client reviewed a surveillance video from the Alamo Heights Police Department, which shows Simpson's vehicle arriving at the residence at approximately 9:25. At 9:16 p.m., Suzanne Simpson called her mother to report that the defendant had just assaulted her, causing pain to her arm, back, and neck. The duration of the phone call was from 9:16 to 9:24. Your client also learned from Suzanne Simpson's cell phone carrier that her device was suspended on 10/6/2024 at approximately 9:16 p.m. at the request of the subscriber. So this means that when he said she lost her phone at the HEB was a lie, he suspended her phone at 9:16. That is crazy. Wonder why he would lie like that. I mean, a review of the defendant's phone records indicates the defendant accessed the AT&T application at the same time Suzanne Simpson's service was suspended. This contradicts the defendant's initial statements about Suzanne Simpson losing her phone on 10/6/2024. On 10/8/2024, your client spoke with Chandler Suzanne Simpson, white female, date of birth, a credible and reliable person, and the 20-year-old daughter of the defendant and Suzanne Simpson. She stated she was reviewing her Apple phone's Find My application that shares time and location data of a connected device to members of a group. She stated the Simpson family, including her mother, Suzanne Simpson, and Chandler's siblings, use this application can see each other's phone locations. Chandler stated the last location of Suzanne Simpson's iPhone listed on her application was at their home and residence at 520 East Olmos Park, Bexar County, Texas, on Sunday, 10/6/2024 at 10:22. Chandler Simpson showed your client a screenshot of the Find My application, which documented the location of Simpson's iPhone last known location. So that phone was at their house at 10:20. Yeah, you're right. You're right. They think they're not going to get caught. They're not thinking that's the reality of it. They're so caught up in their moment that they don't think a lot of times. On 10/8/2024, your client conducted non-custodial interview on who resides at 515 East Alamo Drive, number 2, Almos Park, Bexar County, Texas, directly across the street from the Simpson residence. Your client determined that blank was found to be credible and reliable. Stated when he witnessed the defendant and Suzanne Simpson loudly arguing after 10 p.m. on Sunday, 10/6/2024, in the front yard of his residence. Blank stated he saw the defendant and Suzanne Simpson physically struggling with each other. He stated Suzanne Simpson broke free from the defendant's grasp and ran away from defendant in a westerly direction. He stated the defendant started running after Suzanne and was trying to grab her. Stated that he later lost sight of them as they exited his yard. He stated he went inside the house to get a flashlight and came back outside. He told me he later heard screams coming from the wooded area across from his home. He stated that approximately 1 hour later he heard the defendant's truck start up and depart the area. He stated that he heard the defendant's truck return approximately 1 hour later. Your client learned from Texas Department of Public Safety criminal analyst and Federal Bureau of Investigation forensic examiner the following. The defendant intentionally engaged in a series of on-off cycles to include complete shutdowns of his cellular service, preventing data collecting from beginning from 10/6/2024 at approximately 11:09 p.m. through 10/7/2024. So he shut off his phone too. Why do people think that if they shut off their phone, that's going to protect them from not looking guilty? Because then they're just going to ask you what made you turn your phone off. What were you doing to cause you to turn your phone off for a whole day and your wife is missing? Why would you do that? FBI forensic examiner advised your client, the defendant, shut down his phone in a manner rarely seen referred to as lockdown mode. FBI forensic examiner defined lockdown as the shutdown of a cell phone done by a person who wants to avoid detection. On 10/11/2024, your client learned from Texas Ranger Perez that he obtained and reviewed location data from both the defendant's cell phone and vehicle, a black 2019 GMC Sierra truck, license plate, blah, 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 blah. Your client noted that this is the same vehicle that the defendant was driving during the time frame Suzanne Simpson went missing. On the same date of 10/11/2024, your client learned from Texas Ranger Perez that he obtained surveillance video from Howard Early Childhood Center located at 7800 Broadway, San Antonio, Bexar County, Texas. Your client later reviewed these videos with Texas Ranger Perez and observed that on 7/2024 at approximately 7:53 a.m., defendant's vehicle, black 2019 GMC Sierra truck, Texas license plate, was observed at the school dropping off his 5-year-old daughter. Upon further review of the video, your client observed that the defendant's truck bed area contained at least 2 white trash bags with red strings and that appeared to be large ice chests. They appeared to be in a large ice chest. On 10/12/2024, your client learned from Texas Ranger Perez that he obtained surveillance footage from the HEB located at 300 West Alamo Drive. Texas Ranger Perez told your client that the defendant and his truck were observed on the surveillance footage. Your client observed that on 10/7/2024 at approximately 12:33 a.m., the defendant's truck bed is clear of any cargo at this time besides a large ice chest. On 10/14/2024, your client learned from Texas Ranger Perez at 10/7/2024 at approximately 9:12 a.m. Defendant's vehicle, the black GMC 2019 Sierra truck, was seen on the drive-through camera at the Whataburger located at 621 West Bandera Road, Bernie, Kendall County, Texas. Your client learned via financial records that the defendant purchased food items at this location via his debit card. Upon reviewing the video, your client observed the following items in the defendant's truck bed: 3 white trash bags, a large gray heavy-duty trash can, an ice chest, a large bulky item wrapped and secured in a blue tarp with a silver in color metal firewood rack placed on top, of the blue tarp in a manner to conceal and weigh the tarp down. Upon further observation of the blue tarp, your affiant believes that there is an unknown object concealed within the blue tarp due to its shape and size and it being secured by a strap rope. In your affiant training and experience to past investigations, your affiant is aware that criminals will commonly conceal, transport, or disguise their victims in a manner described above to purposely avoid detection by law enforcement. Are you kidding me? Paula, are you kidding me? So he went through the Whataburger drive-through line with possibly his dead wife in the back. Possibly with his dead wife in the back of the truck under a tarp. Your fine learned that Texas Ranger Perez, the cell phone geolocation data showed the defendant at or near a Home Depot located at 633 West Bandera Road. Your affiant and Texas Ranger Perez reviewed video surveillance from 10/7/2024 9:53 a.m., capturing the defendant purchasing 2 bags of Quikrete cement, an orange Home Depot construction bucket with a lid, a box of 32-count heavy-duty trash bags, 1 bottle of 30-ounce Clorox disinfectant spray, an insect repellent. Your affiant learned that the defendant purchased these items via cash transaction. Your affiant later observed a copy of a Home Depot receipt that documented the purchase of these items by the defendant. Your affiant learned from Texas Ranger Perez that with the assistance of the FBI, they located an unknown male in the Home Depot parking lot that was observed speaking with the defendant prior to his purchase on 10/7/2024. Your affiant learned that this unknown male was identified as blank, blank, blank. Your affiant learned from the Texas Rangers that during an interview with this person, that confirmed the defendant randomly came up to him in the parking lot asking direction to the nearest dump in Burning. Your affiant learned from Texas Rangers that the person provided directions to Kendall County solid waste site located at 46 Spanish Pass Road, Burning, Kendall County, Texas, using cellular device and not the defendant's cellular device. Your affiant note that during this time the defendant intentionally shuts off his cellular device. Your affiant learned from Texas Department of Public Safety criminal analyst that the defendant's vehicle, the black 2019 GMC Sierra truck, was captured via a license plate reader at 10:07 a.m. after the Home Depot transaction. Your affiant observed this photograph, which clearly showed the same items observed in the Whataburger surveillance camera from a different vantage point. Your affiant note that the box of trash bags the defendant purchased appears to be in the truck bed as well. Your affiant note the defendant intentionally entered an on-off cycle of his cellular device to include a lockdown mode after departing Home Depot and speaking with that individual. Your affiant learned from Texas Department of Public Safety criminal analysts that vehicle location data obtained from the defendant's vehicle captured his vehicle on 10/7/2024 near the Kendall County solid waste site located at 46 Spanish Pass Road, Bernie, Kendall County, Texas. Your affiant learned that surveillance from nearby business in the area of the waste site captured the defendant's vehicle driving away from the waste site. That is why that whenever I was playing that video, see, I didn't have a clue about any of this, but that explains why they were looking at the dump for her body because This makes sense now. This makes sense. Your client learned from Texas Ranger Perez the defendant's vehicle was later observed at the Valero Stripe gas station located at Johns Road on 37101 Frontage Road, Burning, Kendall County, Texas on 10/7/2024 at 11:15 a.m. Your client note that the defendant arrived at this gas station after departing the waste site. Your client observed the surveillance video of the defendant utilizing his debit card to purchase gasoline for his truck. The defendant later purchased two 1-gallon jugs of water via cash transaction. Your client note that upon further review of the surveillance video, the white trash bags are now missing from the defendant's truck bed, but the blue tarp, firewood rack, and trash can are still present. Your client note that upon further review of the surveillance footage, the defendant changed footwear from black in color men's sandals into dark colored cowboy styled boots. Your client learned from Texas Ranger Perez that a video of canvassing team located in surveillance camera showing the defendant's vehicle headed westbound from Bernie, Kendall County, Texas into Bandera County, Texas on 10/7/2024. Your affiant note the blue tarp with fire rack on top of it remained in the defendant's truck bed. Your affiant learned from the Texas Ranger Perez after further review of the defendant's vehicle. Location data captured the defendant traveling westbound through Bandera County and into Medina, Bandera County, Texas. Your affiant note the defendant intentionally entered an on-off cycle of his cellular device while traveling toward Medina, Bandera County. Your client learned from Texas Ranger Perez that he was told by Company F Texas Ranger Daniel McMillan that he was able to obtain surveillance footage which showed the defendant's vehicle in Medina on 10/7/2024. Your client learned from Texas Ranger Perez that he was advised by Texas Ranger McMillan that the defendant's vehicle remained in Medina, Texas. Hold on a second. Sorry about that. Was having a coughing fit. Client learned that Texas Ranger Perez that he was advised by Texas Ranger McMillan that the defendant's vehicle remained in Medina, Bandera County, Texas area for approximately 13 minutes prior to heading eastbound back into Kendall County, Texas. Your client learned from the Texas Department of Public Safety criminal analyst that the defendant's vehicle was captured via a license plate reader at 1:41 p.m. entering the burning Kendall County, Texas area from Bandera County, Texas. Your client note upon further observation that the blue tarp is no longer visible and the firewood rack is now repositioned within the truck bed. Your client learned from Texas Ranger Perez that further review of the surveillance footage from 10/7/2024 Howard Early Childhood Center, the defendant was observed picking up his daughter at approximately 3:27 p.m. The defendant's vehicle truck bed was clear of the blue tarp and the metal firewood rack. The defendant's truck bed had the ice chest and a large gray heavy-duty trash can, which are both visible at the time. Your client learned from Texas Ranger Perez that the defendant was a member of the Bubble Bath Car Wash. Your client learned that Texas Ranger Perez that on 10/7/2024 at approximately 4:07 p.m., the defendant and his vehicle are observed on surveillance camera at the Bubble Bath Car Wash located at 7102 San Pedro Avenue, San Antonio, Bexar County, Texas. Washing and cleaning the driver front, side, and rear left passenger side of the passenger compartment. Your client later reviewed photographs of the defendant's vehicle and content taken by Texas Ranger Kevin Wright. Your client noted dried cement splashes were later located in the rear passenger compartment of the vehicle to include in the truck bed. Your client also observed a photograph to show the 30-ounce Clorox bottle located within the rear passenger compartment of the vehicle. The truck bed contained only the ice chest with no other items that were observed in previous surveillance video. On 10/10/2024, your Defiant Sergeant Major Campbell and Company F Texas Ranger Christopher Thomas conducted a non-custodial interview with James Valley Cotter, date of birth 4/22/1959, at his residence located at blah 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 blah. Your client later observed text messages on Cotter's cell phone captured the following communication. On 10/8/2024 at 4:35 p.m., defendant Tech Cotter, if you're in Bandera, can you haul ass and meet me at your house? I don't have much time. Cotter responded, I will be there in 40 minutes. Defendant responded, okay, make sure and leave all that shit into the pump house, especially the gun. On 10/8/2024 at 8:31 p.m., Cotter texted the defendant the following text, get over here, I won't tell anyone. This was followed by the following text from Cotter. You're my brother. These texts were sent prior to the defendant's arrest on 10/9/2024. On the night of 10/8/2024, Texas Ranger Perez obtained an arrest warrant for the defendant for the offensive of assault, family violence, and unlawful restraint. Your affiant learned that Texas Ranger Perez that he had arrested the defendant in Kendall County, Texas for his active warrants in the early morning hours of Wednesday, 10/9/2024. Your affiant learned that Texas Ranger Perez and the defendant did not appear surprised at the time of his arrest, nor did the defendant question why he was being arrested. Your affiant learned from Texas Ranger Perez that he conducted a custodial interview of the defendant and observed the numerous lacerations and bruises on the defendant's hands and arms. Your affiant learned from Texas Ranger Perez that the defendant again claimed that him and Suzanne Simpson had lost their phone at the HEB on Sunday, 10/6/2024. Your affiant learned that Texas Ranger Perez and the defendant appeared unconcerned about his wife being missing and showed little to no emotion. Your affiant learned that Texas Ranger Perez and the defendant invoked his right to counsel after being questioned about the physical altercation that occurred between the defendant and Suzanne Simpson on 10/6/2024. On 10/9/2024, the Texas Rangers and Almost Park Police executed a search warrant at the defendant's known residence located 520 East Alamos Drive. Your affiant and Company F Texas Ranger Kevin Wright observed an indentation located on the wall at the bottom of the stairway of the residence. Your affiant and Sergeant M. Campbell spoke with Chelsea Deanne Simpson, the daughter of the defendant, and Suzanne Simpson. Your affiant learned from Chelsea Simpson the damage on the wall was recent and not previously there when she previously visited the home. Your affiant later interviewed the Simpsons' housekeeper, and she confirmed to your affiant that she last worked at the Simpson residence on 10/7/2024. Your affiant asked her to identify the type of trash bag that the Simpsons would utilize. She described the trash bags as white in color with red handles. Your client learned from the Almost Park Public Works Division the Simpsons utilize trash service through the city and at their normal pickup days, Mondays. Later that afternoon on 10/9/2024, Texas Rangers executed a search warrant of the defendant's property at Bandera County, Texas. Your file learned at the Texas Rangers that they had located a ground level burn site with a burnt laptop and multiple cellular devices. Your client noted that on 10/8/2024, a Bandera County Sheriff's Office deputy had contacted the defendant at the property while he was standing by the active fire. Ain't that some shit? Your client later learned that from the Texas Department of Public Safety criminal analysis that 3 cell phones recovered from the burn pit were identified as belonging to the defendant. Your client's training and experience had taught him that the criminals often engage in destruction of evidence in an effort to impair or hinder a criminal investigation. I'm going to take a moment right quick to take a breath. Suffocating over. Is it just you and I, Paula? Are you still here? It's showing 4 people in the chat, but I only see you in the chat, so I guess you're in there by yourself. I'm sorry about that. Y'all, please hit the like button if you're watching this or listening to it. Your client obtained search warrants for cell detail records for the defendant's cell service and Suzanne Simpson's cell service, and a search warrant for defendant's cell phone, iPhone 14 Plus, in his possession at the time of his arrest on 10/9/2024. The Texas Ranger later executed these search warrants. Pursuant to the search of the defendant's cell phone, the iPhone 14 Plus, your client learned from the Texas Department of Public Safety, criminal analysis, and FBI forensic examiners that they had located 2 notes within the listed device that were titled "This Next Life" and "Last Will and Testament," apologizing for physically assaulting Suzanne Simpson one time in August of 2023, and again on the previous Sunday night, 10/6/2024. Your client learned that the defendant created these notes on 10/8/2024, which was after the alleged assault of Suzanne Simpson on 10/6/2024. And prior to his arrest by the Texas Rangers on 10/9/2024. On 10/10/2024, your client learned from the Texas Rangers Perez that pursuant to a search warrant, the Texas Rangers searched the defendant's vehicle, which is identified as a black 2019 GMC Sierra. Your client learned that during the vehicle search, Texas Rangers identified stains that tested presumably positive for blood. Your client later learned at the Bexar County Criminal Investigation Laboratory the blood evidence belonged to the defendant. Your client learned from Texas Ranger Perez that on 10/23/2024, he interviewed a Frost Bank employee who was Suzanne's personal banker. Your client learned that from the Texas Ranger Perez that he disclosed Suzanne Simpson made an outcry of being physically abused by the defendant and that the defendant would commonly take her cell phone away. Texas Ranger Perez told your client that he advised him that Suzanne Simpson told her that the defendant would tell their children that she had lost her phone after the defendant took it from her. Texas Ranger Perez told your affiant that Blank told him that Suzanne Simpson advised her that if she went missing, to look for her in a lake. Blank was Suzanne Simpson's personal banker over the past financial year. Your affiant note that Texas Ranger Perez told him that this conversation took place around August of 2024. Your affiant reviewed cell phone data from the defendant's cell phone, which captured a text message communication from a female identified as blank, 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 blank. Your affiant observed a text message from the defendant sent on 9/17/2023. Your affiant observed the following information. I still feel bad about tonight. I never should have grabbed her phone and drove off, but she was so protective of it. My dumb ass didn't know her passcode, so I got locked out of it. Had to bring it back. I really have no interest in looking through her phone or anybody else. These devices are the devil's. Your affiant requested that the Texas Rangers interview blank at her residence in Longview, Texas. Your affiant spoke with Company B Texas Ranger Michael Golden, who conducted the interview on 10/30/2024 at approximately 6:40 p.m. and learned the following information. Your affiant learned that so-and-so told Texas Ranger Golden that Suzanne Simpson was aware that the defendant would track her and that the defendant was extremely jealous. On 10/23/2024, Almost Park Police and Texas Rangers conducted a subsequent search warrant at the Simpson residence. Your affiant learned from Texas Ranger Perez that he had located one bag of Quikrete cement in a box of heavy-duty black trash bags, a gray heavy-duty trash can, and a metal firewood rack. Your affiant was advised by the Texas Rangers Perez that the box of trash bags contained only 28 bags out of the 32 total trash bags. The defendant has been incarcerated since 10/9/2024. There are no signs of Suzanne Simpson being alive since the defendant physically assaulted her on 10/6/2024. This has been verified by Suzanne Simpson's cell phone records, financial records, family, friends, and co-workers. Your affiant is aware that no credible tips or information were obtained from the active Texas Clear Alert, and law enforcement had been unable to locate Suzanne Simpson after a large amount of search efforts. All family, friends, and co-workers agree the victim would never willingly abandon her children. Your affiant submits probable cause to believe the defendant intentionally and knowingly caused the death of Suzanne Clark Simpson, white female, date of birth 6/16/1973, on or about Sunday, 10/6/2024, in Almost Park, Bexar County, Texas. The facts in this affidavit come from my personal experience, observation, my training and experience of information obtained from other officers. This affidavit is intended to show there is sufficient probable cause for the requested warrant and does not set forth all my knowledge about this matter. And that is it. I mean, that kind of, I don't know, kind of like the other cases that we've gone over or we've talked about. You know, that was pretty explicit concerning this individual's missing. You know, I when I did the first live on this lady, It had just said, well, they got into an argument. You could hear two screams in the nearby woods, and that was it. That's all you heard. And then a couple of days later, I did another one, and it was talking about the landfill, and the landfill thing was already 5 days old. So, they worked fast on this thing. And so just in that affidavit right there, it gave you a lot of freaking information, a lot of evidence, right? So how could they know all that and not be able to catch other criminals? You know what I'm saying? It's like he pulled up to Whataburger with possibly his dead wife in the truck bed underneath a tarp. How sadistic is that? Hey, Missy RN, how are you doing? Yvonne, thank you for being here. Paula, thank you for being here. Paula says, after all that, not really sure that a trial is needed. I wonder if he waved at every camera that got him. Yeah, they know. That's what Yvonne says. They know. I mean, how could he not know that he was being watched? I mean, like, you go to Whataburger, yeah, everywhere. And then he went to Home Depot, got 2 bags of concrete, a bucket, a Clorox, some Clorox bleach. I mean, come on. And some trash bags, heavy duty. The thing about it is, he probably thought it doesn't matter if they find me with all this stuff. Nobody, no clue. You know what I mean? I don't know if y'all been keeping up with this, but where would you think that he put her body? Because they didn't find her in the landfill. Do you think that he disposed of her out there where he was burning the cell phones and the laptops? Oh, another Texan. Hey, Missy, how you doing? I live in Texas also. Northern Texas. Those Texas Rangers don't mess around. Plus, Texas is always pretty open about cases. No stupid gag orders. You're right about that. Northern Texas. I used to live in East Texas. I've lived in the Metroplex. Now I live elsewhere. Didn't they see bags in the back of his truck? Yes, they did. Yes, they did. I mean, it just blows my mind how all this stuff went down. Like his friend helped him dispose of stuff. The one that Carter guy, he got arrested also. They did find a weapon in a wall at a house. And it was Brad's rifle, but I don't think they found any spent cartridges or anything like that. I think if he killed her, this is my speculation. Um, yeah, that was his boss. I believe that if he killed her, he probably, choked her, strangled her. She probably fought with him in the back of the truck. He probably knocked her out, fought with her in the back of the truck, choked her out, and then had to get rid of her body, and no telling where he took her, you know? Well, I have 2 other videos about this case in my library. If y'all are interested after I get off here, y'all can go check those out. It has, the police interviews, it has all that stuff. I just wanted to read the affidavit because I haven't seen it, and I don't know if y'all have ever watched Sweetie Paolo, but she was talking about it earlier, and I thought, man, that sounds interesting. I'm gonna go check it out. Yeah, it is crazy. It is crazy. Yeah, go help yourself. There's plenty of stuff in there that can keep you occupied for days. You need a weekend binge session and you don't get tired of my voice. There's plenty of stuff in there. I don't know if y'all watch the Idaho 4 stuff, but there's a lot of that. There's this case. I do book readings on addiction and all other kinds of stuff. I mean, there's a lot of stuff in there. I've never seen you on chat, probably because I haven't been on this late usually, but you know, okay, hidden killers. I haven't heard about that, but yeah, that's an interesting thing. Let me see if I can pull up a video that kind of gives a quick synopsis of this case. I feel bad for her kids. I mean, I just feel so bad for her kids. Like, these men are murdering these mothers and they're left without any, their kids are left with nobody to raise them. She had two young children. I mean, 5 and 15 are still young. You know what I mean? They're still young. I don't know how the world has become so evil. It's like, well, I get mad at you, so I'm going to kill you. They were married for 22 years. 22 years. And then all of a sudden, they have this type of issue and she goes missing. Here, I found one of them for you guys. See, this was the one day that I did the live, and they were showing. This is where they were showing where they were looking for the morning was for the body. Suzanne Simpson was married to her husband. His name is Barry Simpson. No, and his name is Brad. Out one night, and they had been having disagreements. It's gonna go crazy. It's gonna be.
That report coming in from KSAT in San Antonio, Texas, where Brad Simpson has now been arrested on multiple charges of violent assault causing bodily injury and unlawful restraint. This after neighbors heard suspicious sounds coming from their home the night before he reported his own wife, Suzanne, missing. The search for Suzanne continues, and friends and relatives and neighbors held a prayer vigil for her. Reporter John Paul Barajas with KSAT has the story.
Family, friends, and strangers gather to pray for Suzanne Clark Simpson. She was last seen last Sunday. At this time, her loved ones, leaning on their faith seems like the only thing they can do.
I just don't understand. I don't understand why it happened. It wasn't part of their life.
Suzanne's mom, Barbara Clark, says she spoke to her daughter 1 hour before she was last seen.
She called me up and told me the things that Brad had done to her physically.
So the mom was talking about 1 hour before all this happened. Obviously, there had been a lot of physical confrontations, and her mother, as you're going to hear her say, never spoke to her again.
Well, I came up with an alternative plan for her in the hope that she'd move in with me. I never got to tell her the plan.
Clark explained Suzanne told her her husband Brad had hurt her arm and back around 9 p.m. According to an arrest affidavit, around 10 or 11 p.m., a neighbor then saw the Simpsons fighting outside their almost park home and later heard screams from the wooded area nearby.
Do you think that Brad's responsible for her disappearance?
Angela, thank you.
I agree with that. I would like to visit with him and ask him why. What happened?
Clark adds the family's doing the best they can, but she is worried about Suzanne's 4 children.
That's hard to know exactly how they're doing.
And even as everyone tries to remain positive, Clark fears her daughter is no longer alive.
I think she is, because I have not heard from her.
Is there anything you say to Suzanne right now if she could hear you?
Suzanne, we love you. We need you. And we pray for you.
All right, thanks to KSAT for that report. Think Tank still with us. Al Wunsch III, Darnell Crosland, and Jennifer.
Her dear mother, man. But that lady has a lot of strength. I mean, you can tell it, you know, because she was talking about, she was saying that she knows that she's probably no longer around, but she knows where she is if she's not. And this is Suzanne's sister, a little bit of an interview with her. And I can pause it and answer those questions.
My name is Teresa Clark. I am Suzanne Clark Simpson's sister. And on behalf of the Clark family, we want everyone to know that we are devastated by the loss of my sister. I am here to be a voice for my sister, and the search will continue and we will not stop until we find her. We are going to bring Suzanne home because Suzanne was an incredible mother, daughter, sister, and she was a beloved person of the San Antonio community who was born and raised in San Antonio. We are so grateful that Suzanne has a large tribe and a large family because we are determined to find her. Lastly, the Clark family would like to thank all the people who have been involved, especially Governor Abbott, the DPS, the Bear County Police, the Almas Park Police, the Kendall County Police, the FBI, the ATF, the search and rescue people. If there's anybody I'm leaving out, forgive me. I'm not trying to leave anybody out. We're grateful for every person who has tried to help our family, who's helped our family by opening their arms and making prayers and all the things that everybody has. In closing, all we have to say is we love Suzanne Simpson the most, and we are going to bring her home.
Teresa, how does it make you feel that the chief had said that she was going to be, she may have been in the landfill, and now they've closed that area of searching? How did that make you and your family feel?
Well, the thing about it is that because we have an ongoing investigation with so many people involved, I'm not really allowed to directly speak about any questions because right now the only thing that we can focus on is finding my sister and bringing her home, and that is our goal, and that's why
I can't imagine. I can't imagine these family members are so freaking strong, man. Like, and I didn't even know also, like, she told her personal banker, if I ever go missing, check the lakes. Isn't that something? I mean, she must have known it was getting pretty bad if she told her banker that. If I ever go missing, check the lakes. What y'all's thoughts on this? Pretty wild, isn't it? Texas is wild. I mean, I could cover crime around Texas just for all of my true crime channel. I mean, that would just be there's so much crime here that, wouldn't have to go elsewhere to cover it. But I hope y'all enjoyed that. I know it was a long read, and I just did a breathing treatment so that albuterol is kicking in, and it makes me kind of woozy. So, um, I believe they did. I believe that there was some domestic violence, as it read in the affidavit, that they found notes as far as back in 2023 that there had been some domestic violence. But I don't think he had ever, and then he did it again that night. So I don't know. Um, I don't know if he was verbally abusive, but obviously he had physically. They had both put their hands on each other that night because, like it said, he had scratches and bruises on him when they arrested him. So I don't know if there had been a long history of that. It's a sad situation. I mean, and in that affidavit, it also mentioned that he was a jealous person, that he would take her phone and that he would tell the kid that she lost her phone after he had taken it. So isn't that convenient that he told the police the same story? She lost her phone at GHEB, but yet he's turning the phone service off the next day. I mean, it doesn't make sense, you know? Yeah, I was wheezing earlier, Paula. That's why I initially got up and started the breathing treatment. I forgot all about having the albuterol. I'd been doing the handheld inhalers and they weren't really doing nothing, so I decided to do the albuterol breathing treatment, and it seemed to have helped. I'm not hearing myself wheeze, but I woke myself up. I was wheezing so hard. You know what I mean? It's like, so hopefully I'm on the mend of this awful vid. I think I got exposed on Saturday, so hopefully the hardest part's behind me. I was running fever hardcore Sunday and Monday, and a little bit Tuesday and yet and yesterday. What is today? Wednesday? And a little bit today. But hopefully I'm gonna try to go to work for about an hour tomorrow and still rest during the day. So continue taking this medication pretty good. This Paxlovid. It's nasty, but it seems to be working pretty good. Yeah, when I got it in 2020, it was way worse. That was the Delta version, I guess. But I'd gotten the jab, and thank God I did, because I mean, the worst part of that is I would wake up in the middle of the night with the chills. I would wake myself up shaking like I was cold. It was awful. I mean, it wasn't anything like this is. I mean, this really kind of bogged me down a little bit, but the other one, it really, I guess I was more scared of it because I've had, a couple people that were dear to me that passed away from it. And, um, so it was more anxiety and everything than anything. And, you know, I guess this time it just the fever and the congestion. Yeah, yeah. Shivering and dripping with sweat. Yeah, that too. I forgot about that. Yeah, one moment you're like dripping and sweat, and the next moment you're shivering. It's insane, right? Well, I'm glad they tested me because I thought it was just a upper respiratory infection because I get those a lot. And I wasn't going to go, but I went yesterday and, they told me, hey, guess what? You're the proud owner of this. I was like, great. But anyways, y'all don't want to hear all my medical stuff. I'm thankful you guys are up with me. I don't know how y'all been. I hope everybody's doing well. Hope you guys are enjoying the November. It'll be Thanksgiving soon, and then Christmas, and then New Year's. And then, we're on to 2025. But I can't imagine, having your mom here, being 5 years old, having your mom here one day and the next day, nobody knows what happened to her. Your dad's not telling you the truth. He's lying about everything. I mean, the kids that are left behind, it's like just traumatizing, I would think. But I'm going to try to get some more rest. And once again, thank you so much for being here. I hope you enjoyed it, guys. Tune in. I don't know the next time I'll be on, but click the notification button down by the channel name because I'm very spontaneous. Very spontaneous. Like, I don't advertise my lives. I just get in the mood to go live and bam, I'm on. So be sure that you click the notification, that you get the notification when I'm on if you're not catching any of my lives, or make sure that if you're not getting the notifications, you might unsubscribe and then resubscribe because I've had people have issues with that as well. But you guys have a wonderful night, and I will catch y'all soon. Maestro, cue that music.